You guys hear about the latest with Tractor Supply?
Yes.
So Tractor Supply, after they had all of this Pride events that they were funding and all sorts of DEI initiatives, they have now announced that they are completely backtracking on all of their DEI initiatives. Yes, Matt is giving me the face of like, Tractor Supply?
Like,
what the hell is Tractor Supply doing?
I bought my gun safe from them.
Well, listen, Liberty Safe did the same type of thing. And I'm like, I have a giant Liberty Safe, which used to house all my guns. Now I lost them all.
You lost them as well in the same.
So it's empty. So it's empty, but it's still really heavy. And I'm like, I can't move that out of my house even if I wanted to. Now I'm stuck with it. So it's all of these companies that you wouldn't expect. But even Tractor Supply was not immune to the DEI sinking in. And now they are ending their sponsorship of Pride festivals and voting campaigns and cutting all internal DEI roles and goals. They said, we have heard from customers that we have disappointed them, but we will still ensure a respectful environment. So another one bites the dust.
Are you telling me there's not like a rush of gays to go and get their tractors on a Sunday?
You know, I guess they found that out. I guess they figured that out really quickly. That was not their customer base, which, you know, you could have known if you thought about that longer than 2 seconds.
I thought plowing was a totally different thing. I don't know.
Oh, man, that's gay.
Well, this is just one company in a long line of companies that are completely reversing now their DEI policies.
Well, it's not profitable. This is what was going to happen. Okay.
No, you
I
don't
get it.
say, Eric.
I get it. Like, a lot of people got all in on the BlackRock thing, Vanguard, but this is the reality, okay? And I tried to get people to understand this, and people got so pissed off because they thought that this was just going to happen perpetually and it was never going to stop. Not the case. Just because they invested in it, two things can be true. Let me say that. Yes, they could have these investments, and you know that they said explicitly that they're trying to force behaviors. That very much is still true, and that still is a thing. What they were not banking on is that people would start voting with their dollar en masse.
Yes.
That's what they didn't account for. They thought that they could continue to invest, and everybody, and how they purchase products was going to change. Mm-hmm. It did change, or they thought it wasn't going to change, and it did change. So as more time progresses, year goes by, 2 years go by, and people that have invested in a DEI and all this other nonsense, and they're starting to realize not that they're not getting a return, that they're actually piling up a lot of losses.
Yes.
That's when they start to adjust and say, okay, well, this didn't work. We're not getting the money that we thought that we were going to get. Even those that are investing in the whole DEI trying to force behaviors, they're starting to pull back on some of the investments that they've had in some of these mega corporations because it's simply they're not getting that return. Right. So this is why people need to continue doing what they're doing. When people or companies tell you who they are, withhold money. Yes. There's a lot of power in just voting with your dollar, man. And now, more than ever, there's a lot more alternatives in pretty much any industry that you can possibly think of, especially with entertainment. I don't know why entertainment was so late to the party. There are alternatives to Disney. Mm-hmm. Like, let's be completely honest, even in the park situation, if you go to Florida, Disney ain't the only gig in town, right? So you can go a separate way. And now as more people are realizing that, and it has to be sustained. Yeah, it's not going to happen in 6 months. Right. But more time progresses and people start to see it. Wait a minute. We saw how we did last quarter. We lost X amount of millions of dollars. Perhaps we should pivot.
But part of the issue is this, and we've been singing this tune for a very long time. Like we say, please subscribe to The Blaze, right? It's not just don't do this, because conservatives are very, very good at talking about what they're against. They're not very good at talking about what they're for or backing what they are for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? It's very frustrating. Point. So when you look at the investment in the DEI thing, where did they go first? They went for a place like Target.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, especially moms, are like, I can't not go to Target because everything's there, right? Now, I'm not... I
haven't set foot in a Target since the last year's all the
Target is in your town, if it's economically sustainable enough to be in your town, there's another version of it.
Yes.
Right.
1,000%.
But I do understand, like, all I'm saying is, because trust me, I was like, I'm never going to Target. My wife is like... So anyway,
you're doing all the shopping now, Matt.
Yeah, so I am actually. I'm going to Costco after this. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, what you did with the comic books. You went off.
Yes.
and you started your own thing, which is great, and you got a great response. And actually, in that world, because there are certain people, like in the gun world, in your world, people are flooding, and because they don't want that, they just want good content, right? And so what they did though was they went to a bunch of these companies and invested in them, and people didn't change their behavior for the most part. And then you go across, and then you get a Bud Light.
Yep.
And then they were just like, no, it's not happening. I've still got that packet of Bud Light. My wife went and bought, if you don't remember, my wife went and bought some Bud Light because she didn't know.
She had no idea.
She had no idea. And it's still sitting in my bar there, like nobody's had any. And I've drunk, not me, but a lot of people. Drunk. But
because they wouldn't, they wouldn't let you return it.
They wouldn't let me return it. My wife didn't know. She was just like buying for everybody because we're not real beer drinkers in the house. And she went, and I went, what have you done? I felt like,
my friends are going to think I'm gay.
Yeah, I took it back. And then they were like, no, we don't exchange beer. So it's just sat there in my bar, and it's still there, and it'll probably still be there after this next few days, right? Maybe I'll take it to a party and say, hey.
I'll be like, some Bud Light.
Hello, look what I bought for you. I'd give them that. But the point is they went, and then they went to Tractor Supply. And you got to stop and think, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like what? And what you'll see, Eric, to your point, is when people start pushing back. It was the same thing with COVID. Once people start pushing back, it's almost like other people have permission to do the same. And they'll go, okay, boom, I'm not doing it. And all of a sudden there's this big shift. But again, I do think we're coming to critical mass. We're coming to critical mass on the DEI. We're coming to critical mass on what with the Biden thing. We're going to critical mass with Trump, because evil always overplays its hand because it's pride.
Yeah.
It's prideful. They think that they can keep going, and then all of a sudden they're going to get slapped. But listen, this should have been done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. It should have. Yeah. And conservatives just kind of like go, oh, someone else, as we said about the drag queen story hour, somebody else is going to take care of it. But it's not true. It's you who have got to take care of it.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I think more people are realizing that and doing something with that power that they have, which, thank God. By the way, I just want to say it again. I have not been in a Target. Has it been hard? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, most of it is because I don't want someone to like spot me in there and take a picture, and then it ends my career. I'm just kidding. I will not go to Target. I just won't do it. And I have made it through. I have found a way to figure out where to get my stuff from other places. So it is doable. Just stand up to those bastards. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.